Hello, my name is Natalie Price, and my husband today is my live audience. Chocolate, ice cream, baked goods, candy. You may not have recognized this, but every single one of the foods that I just named contains that substance we call caffeine. That's right. Caffeine is in much more than you might think. It's in more than cocoa beans or coffee beans and tea leaves. It's even in our soft candy. It's in our baked goods and our ice cream. So what does this all mean? Well, in the church, we often might think of caffeine as risky or rebellious even. However, what if I told you that caffeine, when taken in the recommended dosage, can have major benefits to overall health? The Mayo Clinic has stated that the recommended dosage of caffeine be between 0 and 400 milligrams a day. Now, let's just take that into comparison. When we have 1 can of Coca-Cola, that's only 40 milligrams. Decaffeinated coffee, 3 milligrams. Brewed coffee is 95 milligrams. So that just shows that caffeine is in a lot more than we think, and it can actually be beneficial to us. Caffeine has been proven beneficial by many universities and hospitals, including Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins, which I'll be talking about today. Today, I would like to address how caffeine can be helpful in decreasing the risk of Alzheimer's disease, improve athletic endurance, and can decrease the risk of Parkinson's disease. Let's start with Alzheimer's disease and dementia. A study done at Johns Hopkins showed that women over 65 who drink caffeine daily showed far less of a risk of dementia than women who did not drink caffeine at all. Another study, but this one was done at Harvard, showed that adults, both male and female, who drank 261 milligrams of caffeine a day for 10 years reported fewer dementia symptoms compared to those who consumed an average of 64 milligrams a day. So that even shows that more caffeine a day, still under that 400 milligram limit, can still be beneficial to your health. Now let's talk about athletic performance. This is one that a lot of us might not already know about. Harvard states that many studies show that a jolt of caffeine before exercise can improve endurance and can reduce fatigue after. The amounts of that proved were varied between 225 milligrams and 600 milligrams. So that was a wider range of caffeine. A side note that I would like to hit on that many of you might be thinking, well, what about my energy drinks? Those must be great. Well, I hate to break it to you, but energy drinks are not as good as we might think. Due to the high content of sugar, they often reflect poor electrocardiograms, which means that it can give you a bad heart rhythm and overall just not be as good as just not taking the caffeine. Lastly, I'd like to talk about Parkinson's disease and the way that caffeine can prevent that. So MedLinks, which is a wonderful medical website, talked a lot about an interesting study that proved the incidence of Parkinson's disease is significantly decreased if you drink caffeine. They took people who commonly drank 4 cups of decaffeinated coffee and people who commonly drank 4 cups of non-decaffeinated coffee, so just normal coffee. And they compared these two groups of people. They found that there were 5 times a reduction of risk in Parkinson's disease for those who drank the caffeinated coffee. By using caffeinated and decaffeinated coffees, it proves that it was the caffeine that made the difference for Parkinson's disease, because coffee will have the same in it regardless, but we're just taking out the caffeine. Also, Johns Hopkins has shown us that people with Parkinson's disease have reduced symptoms if they're constantly drinking caffeine. It does not decrease their fatigue, however, it does decrease the shaking syndrome of Parkinson's disease. In conclusion, caffeine is not as bad as we might think. And in fact, it can make our quality of life even better. Therefore, it's a good thing to turn our minds from thinking caffeine is bad and rebellious to something that is actually good and can be life-changing.